Welcome back to That's Why We're Here, a podcast hosted by yours truly, Marissa, Danae, Paul, Mary. So, one thing I want to put out there is I am kind of done trying to save others. It's not my responsibility to save others. I am just here to speak my truth freely. And that's what I'm here to do. So I am shifting focus from you to me. Not selfishly, just it's people have to want to change themselves. So I'm not here to like preach anything. But I see that I have been trying to guide others down the path that I am on. So, as much as I want to do that, I also realize that I don't want to do that because everybody's so different, and I'm not here to save anyone. No one needs to be saved. You know, I was trying to save y'all from yourselves, but it's not my mission. So I invite you to explore these topics and explore yourself and take what you hear here, take what you hear here and apply it to your own life. Ask yourself the questions that I'm asking you. But that's all I'll say there. This isn't an episode about anything in particular. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna speak my mind. So that's actually funny because the first thing I see on my journal here is who am I in the unknown? And that's, I guess, what we're here to explore today is who am I without a script? Who am I without guardrails of conversation? What am I going to talk about today? It's a good question. Last time I said I would talk about my script, the space between. I actually have it right here. I have it right here. 16 pages. This is draft number 4. I have to fix a couple typos and put out draft number 5. But yeah, I wanted to go over the symbolism in it so that people could understand me better. And here's the thing. I've sent it around to like 8 different people, maybe 10. I don't know. I lost count. But I sent it around to people who I thought would like really take the time to read it and understand like where I'm at, where I'm coming from, or just read it just because it's a piece of my art that came from me. Like I thought they would care. But guess what? Only like 2 or 3 out of those people actually took the time to read it. I'm like, bro, this is my art. Like, I don't know. I'm always there for other people's art. And I'm always like, literally, I put myself right there. I'm like, yes, you release something. Let me see it. Let me ingest it. Let me consume it. Let me see what you're about. I always take the time to look at my friend's art. And when I send something like so near and dear to my heart that expresses the most intense parts of my journey in this life and like all my shadows and stuff, I had to take a step back and think like, wow, as many times as I've been there for other people, I'm realizing that people aren't showing up for me. So that's why I'm here. That is literally why I'm here. So, yeah, I mean, like, okay, so there's that. There's the level of, okay, like, the people who I did send it to, who I thought would read it, didn't. So, I'm like, okay, I still want people to understand me and, like, know how I express myself through my art. And that's why I wanted to bring it on here, because I was like, okay, this is an audience that's actually listening to the stuff I say, like taking it in. So I was like, oh, let me bring it on here. See if this audience will listen. And as much as I want to do that, I realized that like putting my script out into the public internet of things probably isn't the best idea if I'm still trying to make this film, because there is a problem of people stealing ideas, and I'm not saying I'm fearful of anybody stealing my idea, but I'm just like, this is too sensitive. This is sensitive information. This is too cherished to me to just let it go into the wind. Like I need to harness this magic. This is my magic. Like this script I've written is a form of magic for me. I am through this script transmuting all the pain and like suffering that I've been through in my emotional relationship life. So that's kind of what the script is about. It's actually if I'm being for real, the script itself, the space between, is about me journeying through and out of codependency. So, and I actually had that epiphany after, like months after I finished the script. And I was like, oh, that's what this script is about, really. So it's like a chapter of my life. And I'm really like excited to write the next script. I already have like images and stuff in mind that I'm gonna add into the next script I write, and I just find it very exciting because it's really a glimpse into the journey out of pain and suffering. Really, that's what the script is about, and it's about the space between who I was and who I'm becoming. It's the space between you and me. Like, there's so much in here. There's so much symbolism in this script. And I want to go into it on here, but if you want to read it, just like reach out to me and we can make something happen. I'll email it to you or something. We can sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, where you don't share my ideas around with other people, but I'm willing to share it. I want it to be shared. I want to produce it. I want to like bring all the pieces together and put it into production. And I will someday. I will. It's I wrote it. I am narrating it. I'm going to record the narration probably this week or next. And I'm going to be the actor in it. So I'm also going to be the director and the editor, and I'm going to make the music for it. So I'm the everything. This is like my little baby. So this is my little art baby. So I got to be careful with where I put it, what environments and spaces I let it exist in. So that's just a little bit about that now. Otherwise, this term, the space between, has been showing up again in different ways these days. So, like, everything I thought it was, it's becoming more than what I thought it was. Like, it has more definitions, more meanings, more applications to what it pertains to. So the space between, I've realized lately, is literally God. The space between your thoughts, the space between like one thought and the next, when you're just existing in that space there, that's like the true source of you. That's like the real you. And that is like the God version of you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the source. The source. So that's interesting to me as well. It's so funny, like, so this script, I should probably mention where this script even came from. So this is literally, I wrote the narration first. The narration, okay, actually, I had a lot of images come to my mind. And I like, throughout the years, through the last, like, since, I think I've been writing this since, like, 2027. Yeah, I think 2018 is when I kind of first started writing it in script form. But really, everything that's in this script is taken from my journals from the last 5 years. well, now 6 years, because when I finished this it was 2020 when I finished the script. So from 2015 to 2020, everything that's worth noting, worth anything in my journals is packed into this script. And so I started with the imagery, like throughout my life. I have these visions of like images that I want to make real. Basically, that means I see something in my mind and I want to recreate it in video form. Like, I want to recreate it. I want to see if I can recreate a vision that comes to me through my mind. And that's what filmmaking is. That's kind of like what art is. If you can, there's a quote by somebody, I forget who, oh gosh, I should really remember who, but a really famous director. It was like, if it can be thought and written, it can be filmed. And I want to say that was either like, I don't know. I don't want to butcher. I don't want to get it wrong, but a really famous director said that. You can look it up. If it can be thought or written, it can be filmed. So I thought about it. I wrote it down, and now I'm like, it's in a script. I can film it now. So that quote inspired me. It came at the very right time while I was writing the script. So I was like, oh, cool. Okay. So like, none of this is too out there. It's a very intense script. Like, the imagery is pretty intense. But it's fucking beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. It's so beautiful. So the images came first, I think, kind of like through the years, and then I went through, oh my God, this was like such a process. I went through all of my journals, and in that room right here, I have behind me in this room, I have a box. I have a bin, a plastic bin full of all of my journals from the time I started keeping them. That's a lot. It's a lot of journals. So I went through all of those in 2018. I went through every single one, every single page, and identified bits and pieces that were, like poetic or like worth anything, at least in my mind. Like, is what I wrote here worth shit? Like, if it is, fuck yeah, let's include it. If it's not, let's just keep flipping through the pages. So I ended up typing out, like, on a Word document, I ended up typing out on a Word document all these like keepable pieces of journal entries, like all the pieces that I wanted to hold on to and kind of morph into a script. So over a couple months, I slimmed it down, I trimmed it down, and like kind of got rid of the unnecessary, tried to like read through and kind of piece together, like, how will this all piece together? Like, obviously it all pieces together because it's part of my life, but I wanted to make it cohesive in a way, or present it in a cohesive way that like made sense to somebody else, or really just to me. Like, I have been trying to make sense of this life for my whole life. So this is one of my ways of doing so. And it's also like a tangible freaking thing, like, of my experience. I think that's so exciting. Personally, I think it's so exciting. So over the course of months and months and months, I trimmed it down, kind of organized all these little bits and pieces so that they would flow in a certain way that kind of made sense. And that became the narration of the script. Like, and it starts with a poem that I wrote. I love that I started with this poem. I could read the poem at least, because I've read that before to some people, and I think I'll just read a little bit of it. When she was young, she plucked snakes from the garden. She lined them up in a row and watched, discerning how fast it took each one to slither away. She gave them names. Today she does the same except they have names of their own. Day by day, she watches them slither in front of her as if part of a calculated choreography, each one so different from the next. They slip out of sight, leaving behind a wake of white dust, a dissonant aftermath. Mire mirrors desire in her feeble attempts to slither about, but she was no snake. I love that poem so much. Means a lot to me. I did used to pluck snakes from the garden out in Washington State, over at my aunt's house. I think she's my great aunt, actually. But she used to live, well, I think she still does, out in this country town called Camas, really small town in Washington State. And across the street, there were some neighbors that were about me and my sister's age, and we would go, they had horses, and we would go horseback riding over there and just shoot the shit and just giddy up horsey. And it was really, really fun. But one of my favorite memories around that time at that area was picking up snakes. We would find little garter snakes and like line them up in a row. Me and my sister and these two girls, we'd line them up in a row and just like release them, and then they'd just go. We'd kind of race them. It was kind of funny. There was no harm done to these snakes, but we just pick them up, set them down, and watch them go, and we'd laugh, and we'd be like, "Oh!" Mine was usually called Speedy. I was really creative with my names in childhood. But yeah, that's like that's actually a thing. Like, it actually happened. So like this poem takes me back to my childhood, and also ropes you into my adulthood, where it's like, yeah, she tried to, like, you know, she as in me, this little girl, grew up to, you know, test, you know, kind of test waters and see what would happen if she did certain things. So like, these snakes represent the men in my life. The snakes represent the love partners I've had, and just in general, like, I don't know, it could span wider than just this group of people, but like, because snakes represent a lot of things symbolically, you know, it kind of represents like that, you know, snake in the Garden of Eden that tempted Eve to eat the apple. And it's kind of really calling back to that. I'm not gonna lie, like, it is a callback to that. That's kind of like the symbolism in this sense is, yes, it's based in a reality, like memory of my childhood, but it's also like representative of like the paths that I was taking down by like enticement that led me down the wrong path. And that's like kind of where the script came from, because I realized that I was going down the wrong paths. And really, it was like I was following others and not following my truth, not following myself. So that's really, really huge. And you're lucky that you even got an excerpt today, because that poem is fucking really important to me. And it's only fitting that I started the script with that. I mean, I didn't start the script with it, but the narration begins with that poem. And so the rest of the narration is kind of like a monologue, a poetic monologue of a journey. So if you're interested in the script, hit me up. I'll send it to you, because I do want people to read it. I do. It's magical. Like I said, it's my form of magic. It's my form of art. It's my form of releasing this chapter of my life and moving on to the new chapter. And actually, I was talking to a friend, Joe Victor. What's up, Joe? My film friend. He's my film buddy. He's great. Joe, I miss you. If you're hearing this, come through. But anyways, I was talking to him about the script before he read it, and I was kind of just like philosophizing with him about it, and he was like, he had an epiphany. He was like, dude, if you didn't finish this, Like if you didn't write this, that chapter of your life would not be over. And I was like, you're right. You're very right. Because if I didn't finish this script, that like he said, that chapter of my life wouldn't officially be over. And like as fellow filmmakers, like we get that, we understand that side of our minds, like how our how our filmmaker minds work. Like it's all connected. So like us releasing our art means that we're done with that chapter. That's just true. It's just true. And I have proclaimed myself as an artist. I have a lot to express. if you didn't know that already, I have a lot to express. So yeah, the next script, I have no idea what the title is going to be, but I already have some images and words in mind that I want to include. So that's kind of how I start. Is like I start with imagery, and I start with poems that I've written. So like I piece them together. It's like a little puzzle that I've spread out the pieces, throughout my life. But like whenever I go into script writing mode, it's like I'm like, okay, that piece, they fit together somehow. And the art really is in piecing it all together, I think. That's interesting. Really interesting. It takes a certain mind to be able to cohesively piece together all the random bits of your experience. So I'm very, very proud of this script. It's a short film. It's about 16 pages, 15 and a half pages, which is probably going to end up being like a 15-minute short film. Like I said, I'm going to be the actor in it and the narrator, so you're going to see and hear me. And I'm also going to direct myself. I'm going to do the score, probably with a little bit of help somewhere down, like in the music aspect. I believe in myself, my abilities to make and compose music, but I know that there are some people in my life who are really good at mastering. So probably going to call on them for some assistance at some point. But this is really like my brainchild. This is really like who I am, or at least who I was. And now I'm in the space between, literally in the space between who I was and who I am becoming. So that's really exciting. So who I'm becoming, that's what I want to talk about next. I already know what I know, right? Duh. But what I don't know is what I don't know. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm trying to explore what I don't know about myself, because I've already become well versed in what I do know about myself. And I'm kind of like stepping in, jumping in, leaping into this unknown and without fear. Like I've been talking about all of this in the last 4 episodes, but like really I'm at that point. Really. I'm there. I'm right there. Like I don't talk about anything I don't know. So who am I in the unknown? Like the abyss. Like who am I about to be? And you know what's interesting? Oh man, this reminds me. I wonder if I can find it in my journal. Oh my gosh. So I was doing a meditation. Oh gosh. Wow, okay, I'm going to bookmark that page, come back to that. I was meditating like months ago, and oh my gosh, it was last spring, about a year ago. I did a meditation, and I went into like 5 years from now, like visualizing myself 5 years from now, and then like 10 or 20 years from now, and then 5 years from now, 20 years from now, and then 50 years from now. So I saw myself evolving over time in my like mind's eye, and let me tell you, I got a great life ahead of me. I'm just saying, like, 5 years from now, I saw myself literally, I saw myself like this city girl. Like, I've never really been a city girl before, but like, I'm about to be, I'm like coming into that chapter of myself of like walking the streets and like no fear, like hustling, grinding, in the city vibe. And because that's where I feel like I am, internally. Like, I feel like I'm in that grind phase where I'm just like, all right, we out here, we know what we're doing, we're confident in ourselves, like we finally got our shit together, like let's just bust it out now. So yeah, so I saw myself like walking across a city street with a fucking long black duster jacket, sunglasses, my freaking Doc Marten boots, like looking like a boss. I'm just saying, like looking like a straight up boss. Just like exuding confidence and like not giving a fuck. So that's kind of who I envision myself to become in the next 5 years. I looking back on it now, I definitely see that happening. I definitely see myself that way still. Just a badass walking down the street with her own mission. Mind on a mission. So yeah, that's that. And then like I saw myself like 20 or 30 years into the future, like teaching people, teaching and like lending more of a hand to others. After I go through this phase of like fully being in my own truth, like I will move that and like share my knowledge and wisdom and everything, all my resources with others, with the youth, with others in my community. Like that's where I see myself later. And then after that, as an old woman, I see myself in the forest, like literally like a little cabin in the woods with a garden all around my house, forest all around my house, maybe on a mountain somewhere, I'm not sure. But just a smile on her face all the time, just like joyfully blissed out, like nurturing her garden and, not worrying about did I do enough in this life? Like, cause I saw myself just living in the moment of being old and wise and having done so much for your community in the past. So that's kind of my trajectory of where I see myself going. And honestly, the whole time throughout the entire, throughout that entire visualization, I was single. I'll note that just for a bit. And I actually had this meditation while I was still in a relationship. So I think that's pretty loud statement. But that's just kind of part of my truth and where I see myself in the future, kind of where I'm going, where I'm heading, where my mind is at, where my heart is at. I'm really excited for this life. Like, really, really excited for what's to come. So, yeah, pretty much what has happened this week is me giving myself full permission to be raw and expressive and to not worry about what my audience thinks about me or how they're taking in this information. It's just, I'm just gonna put it out there and see what happens, see if it floats or not, I'm here to unstifle myself. I'm here to unstunt my own growth. I'm here to be here for me and not for others right now. Like in this space right now, right here. Just expressing. So along those lines, I have really stopped dealing with the bullshit or like even giving it the time of day. Like I'm not afraid to be straight up with people these days. Like I recently have continued to step away from who does not align with me. Like, who's just here to serve themselves and their addictions, and who's really out here trying to grow and like be present and show up in a relationship sense. Like like show up to have a conversation and don't be just faded, or don't be just like lost in your own storylines and like ignore reality. Like I'm just done with I'm so over pretending like I'm going along with the bullshit that people are living in. Like people are still in the Matrix. Like I'm sorry, but I don't have time for that anymore. I don't have time for the Matrix bullshit. Like it doesn't float over here. Over here we're out of the Matrix. Over here we're rising through the darkness. Over here we are getting out of purgatory. Out here we are quantum leaping, really. We're quantum leaping. And I really don't have time for anybody who's not. Or who doesn't see through the illusions of oneself and of one's world. So, I mean, like, I hope that the first couple episodes have kind of opened eyes and opened minds about that kind of stuff. But really, this episode right here is to be like, yo, if you haven't gotten it now, I don't think there's any saving you. I'm sorry, but there's a consciousness split going on, and I've tried my best in my world, in my relationships. I've tried my best to open people's eyes, and a lot of people don't want to listen. And that's not my problem. That's their problem. So I'm going to like just exist over here in my happiness and bliss and just not even witness the bullshit, because I'm not even invested in it at all. So that's that. Unfiltered truth is why we're here. So, I'm just here to say no more bullshit, guys. I'm really excited for next episode. I'm going to have my brother-in-law as my guest host on here. We have a lot to talk about. We've been exploring lots of topics together over the last couple months, and I believe that this information needs to get out. So yeah, we're about to go into it. We're probably gonna talk about. I don't even want to give you any sort of preview. We're gonna release it and we'll see who listens. Because that's how it goes here, right? But yeah, I'm done like seeking acceptance from others for who I am and who I'm becoming. Like, I accept myself. I create my own acceptance. So I got really nothing to worry about in that regard. I spend most of my days like by myself, like when I'm not working over at my sister's house. I work with my sister and my brother-in-law, and when I'm not over there, I am chilling on my own. And like my social life has just like, but in a good way, like in a beneficial way. Like I'm devoting less time to nurturing relationships that are unfulfilling to me, and spending more time nurturing my relationship with myself, which is a beautiful process. So I'm not concerned really about losing people from my life anymore. Like I used to really get upset about having to let go of people. because I knew it was for my own good, and I never enjoyed letting people go, or like being like, hey, we can't talk anymore. Not really like that, but like, hey, I can't tolerate this anymore. My boundaries are here, my standards are here, like way beyond what they were before. So like if you don't meet the standards of communication that I'm looking for, or like showing up, like if you're not bringing your presence to the table when I'm around, I got no time for that. So I'm just telling people like it is. Like if you're not showing up for me, I'm not going to show up for you. Simple give and take. And like the people that subscribe here show up. Like, and that's why I'm here, is to show up for both of us, because this is a give and take relationship right here that's going on right here. You and me. I'm giving. You're taking. And we're both providing our presence. And I guess that leads me into the next thing. I I will, in the description box, I will put a link to a donation. I feel so weird saying this, but it's true. Like, I can do this. Like, if you are finding the information that I bring to the table valuable, you don't have to, but it's an option. You can support me monetarily if you feel like it. Like, I'm fully freelance, so this is just me devoting my time. Like, it's kind of like out of pocket time, But, I've mentioned that this is for me first and foremost. So like I'm not expecting any sort of reimbursement for what I'm doing here. But that being said, if the information that you're taking from this show is providing you actual value and you feel like you want to give back, by all means, I will put the link in the description to do so. So yeah, I'll just put that out there. We'll see what happens. But I want to get into this real quick. I really love this give to receive business model because it's, I'm devoting my own time and energy and resources to put this together. And it's free. It's free content. It's free. So the give to receive model, I've noticed in all the people that I have supported in the past couple of years, like they all do this too. They all use this give to receive model, and I really, really am fond of it. If I ever, do anything business wise, like if this becomes that, I will do that model too. So the give to receive business model is kind of exactly what I just explained. Which is, if you're finding value in something free, there's an option to donate to the content creator. That's it. Simple. Very simple. Yeah. You can kind of put your own value on it, whatever you feel like. So there's that. What else? Yeah, I kind of it's funny. I have a vision for this podcast, but I also am keeping it very, very loose. Like I am going to have guests on. I got to find the right guests though, that jive with what I'm trying to do out here. And I guess what I'm trying to do out here is just be raw and expressive and put out a message that helps everybody involved, me and you. So it helps me just by releasing it and expressing it, and it helps you by receiving it and, learning a little bit more about the world, yourself, and also me. All right. Yeah. Let's see what else. Did I cover everything that I wanted to cover? I don't even know. Oh yeah. One of my goals is to like have less cuts in this show because my goal for this is to do it fully, like no cuts, no butts, no coconuts, you know? I want it to just be fully stream of conscious, no edits. I don't want to edit myself anymore. Like I just want to sync it up and like trim off the ends and like upload it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how I do with this episode. Um yeah. Oh my gosh, something that's awesome that I feel like I could mention is I've I mentioned the other episode that I was letting go of a nicotine addiction, and I just want to say I've fully let it go. Like, I've let go of tobacco. I've even let go of marijuana. I've also been on a couple weeks off of booze, like any sort of booze. So, like, that's all three of my vices. I still drink coffee. Sorry, but I do. I'm not sorry. But coffee is my only, like, vice left in my intake. So I just want to mention, like, I'm on this detox train, detoxing my mind, body, and spirit, baby. It's a good time. So I just want to say, I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling so top notch. Like, yeah, I'm feeling excellent. No booze, no haze, no drags. Yeah, I feel very clear-headed and my body feels in tip-top shape. Just want to mention that. You can too. You got someone on your side if you're trying to let that stuff go, even momentarily. Like, just, you know, you can do it. 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 I believe in you. I'm here to support you. We are out here. Woo! Okay. Man. I guess this is kind of like an intermediary episode about everything and nothing at all. You know? I'm at such a different place in life than I've ever been before. Like, I have so much space to myself. And it feels rather good. I feel like things are really coming together for me. And I'm making it happen. I'm also allowing it to happen. I'm also giving myself permission to be unapologetically me and speak my truth when I need to or when I feel called to, and not let anybody get in the way of that. So that's why I'm here, baby. One day, maybe this show will transform into a talk show. Maybe one day this show will get, maybe, I don't know. I'm just leaving the door open in this sense because anything can happen in this space. I'm letting this space be a container for anything that wants to come through this vessel. This vessel being me. So I guess I'll leave it at that. This is a space of creating acceptance for oneself without any external influence. That's it, really. That's it. I think we're done here. I will see you guys next week. Yeah, see you guys next week. I love you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Next episode will be freaking juicy. This was kind of, like I said, an intermediary where I just wanted to kind of float in this space and just speak about whatever. And I feel like I've done so. But next week, there's a very juicy episode coming. It's going to be epic. It's going to be so epic. Like, we're going to have so much to get into. And we're not going to be fucking around. We're not going to be bullshitting. There's no time for nonsense here. So stay tuned and subscribe if you want to get notified. Push the little bell next to the subscribe button, and you can get personalized notifications or all notifications from me. Really, I just upload one episode a week, so it's nothing crazy. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Definitely tune in next episode. It's going to be epic. My bro-in-law, Josh, will be on. And we're going to get all up in that topic of... You'll see. You'll see. It's very important, though. It's very, very, very important. So I love you. Have a beautiful weekend. And we'll catch you next time for That's Why We're Here.